Too little, too late. That's what Victoria's 000 call takers are saying after blowing the whistle on a broken system, revealing callers subject to life-threatening situations are facing waits of more than a minute. For more, we're joined by David Edwards in Swan Hill, Victoria, whose father sadly passed away in January 2022 after waiting over 40 minutes for an ambulance. David, thank you for your time this morning. We're really sorry for your loss. As we just said then, your father waited 40 minutes for an ambulance. Were you told after that that this situation that's going on with 000 would be fixed?
Yes, I had a phone call from the head of Extra at the time, and he said that he'd been placed there to clean up their act, and hopefully he would get and working. Obviously, it's failed.
Yeah, so the news this morning then, where these whistleblowers, David, have come in saying there's as few as 4 people rostered on at times. That's to cover the entire state. That doesn't sound reasonable nor fair, does it, considering what you and your family have been through?
No, unfortunately, the Labor government in Victoria is spending money like a drunken sailor, but they can't spend enough money to employ more people to answer the 000 system. Whether it's 1 minute, it doesn't matter. Try holding your breath for 1 minute. Then you'll find out how difficult it is. Dad had to wait 40 minutes, and by that time, there's no chance of Dad surviving at all. It's unbelievable what's happening here. If 1 minute is not good enough, 11 people apparently had to wait, and it should be no people. And when you ring 000, you should get somebody to answer the phone immediately. It is the tip end of the sharp end of the spear. It needs to be fixed.
There's reports this morning that some Victorians are ringing 000 for non-urgent conditions like conjunctivitis, just so they can skip those emergency queues. What do you say to people out there who are just trying to, I guess, rort the system here, where people really need those emergency vehicles?
Well, please don't block up the 000 system. For things like what happened to my dad, we couldn't get through because someone was at a break and nobody was there to really help them. If you're not well, go to the hospital. Ring up the online nurse. Please don't ring 000. They're busy enough as it is, and please don't block up the system. Please.
4 people rostered on in one state is not enough. The Minister for Health, Mary-Ann Thomas, has denied any issues. Do you have a message for her?
Well, she should be unlike the last 30 years from both parties that have done nothing to help the health system in this state. If she wants to stand out and be different, actually do something. If you can't fix everything, just fix one thing at a time, but please do something.
David, thank you so much for your time this morning. Once again, we're really sorry that your family had to go through that, and hopefully someone in the Victoria government is listening. Thank you so much. SJ.
It's a simple message, isn't it? Well, with ballooning GP wait times and shrinking doctor availability, a seismic shift is underway in the Australian medical landscape. New data this morning showing a growing number of patients are turning to telehealth services and embracing virtual consultations. For more, let's bring in Dr. Sarah Kavanagh from Instant Scripts. Doctor, good morning to you. Thanks for your time today.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
How many Australians are now seeking medical advice from home?
Look, it's a difficult number to estimate, but at a platform like Instant Scripts, so far we've provided healthcare to more than 1 million Australians, and that number is certainly growing. I think with the pandemic, a lot of Australians had to try out telehealth for the very first time. But since then, I think there's an increasing sense of comfort with where telehealth fits into their lives. And ultimately, we are finding that for a lot of Australians, particularly those in regional or remote communities, being able to get an appointment with their GP at short notice is becoming increasingly difficult.
Such a struggle for many, isn't it? Where it fits in, that's sort of the point here, isn't it? Because it's not necessarily appropriate for every ailment or illness under the sun, but what are the most common conditions that patients are presenting to telehealth with?
So if we look at our data at Instant Scripts from this year, our most recent data shows that the most common chronic presentations are for anxiety and depression, and then for conditions like asthma, blood pressure, and even chronic headaches and migraines. So these are things that we would see in general practice, And oftentimes these patients will have a management plan in place, but if they find themselves suddenly without their asthma medication over the Christmas holidays, we don't want people to go without really important medications. So I think that's where we are starting to see telehealth really fit in.
Especially when people have travelled away from their regular GP. So what about scripts and referrals and medical certificates? Is it appropriate in that area?
And it is all about making sure that we're practicing within the correct scope for telehealth. But absolutely, at Instant Scripts we have more than 300 medications available on our formulary, and if you need a referral to see your dermatologist, it's summer, we need to be skin safe. It's time to get that skin check done. We can provide referrals to specialists for those sorts of things. And again, if we do need a short-term medical certificate, particularly if you've got COVID, if you've got the flu, the best place for you is to rest up at home. We don't really want people out in the community potentially sharing those viruses with folks that are vulnerable. So absolutely, scripts, referrals, medical certificates, they are things that we may be able to help out with.
So on the flip side then, as a doctor, how would you encourage, or in what cases would you encourage patients to go into a physical clinic?
Oh, look, if we need to do a physical examination, then absolutely we need to employ our beautiful face-to-face GPs, doctors' clinics, and sometimes if there are conditions like acute chest pain, difficulties breathing, then those are presentations that need to go to the emergency department. But what we're really hoping to do with telehealth is keep the emergencies for the emergency department, and for patients that need scripts, referrals, medical certificates, we don't need them in the emergency department at such a busy time of year.
Unclog that system a bit. Dr. Sarah Kavanagh, great to have you in this morning. Thank you.
Hey there, Today fans. Sarah and...
What's my name again?
Oh my goodness, Carl.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel, though. Subscribe now for more news, special reports and amazing Aussie stories.
And Carl misbehaving,
Whoa,
of course.
that never happens.
Always happens.
What's she talking about?
Always happens.